All right. Let's get this party started. How's everybody doing? What's going on? I've had a week. And now I finally have time to check back in with all of you. And yeah. Hopefully we'll hang out a little bit, get a little bit of work done. What has everybody been up to this week? I've got well, it started with the events of Saturday, the national events, the thing that affects everyone last week. That was on Saturday. So Saturday and Sunday, I was like, it's a little hot to be live streaming with such topics like that can, they're gonna come up. So I just wanted to wait for stuff to cool down a little bit. Then Monday night, I had a big electrical storm roll through, broke another one of my fence posts, so I get to go deal with that again. And then Tuesday, my dad had a heart attack. And so he survived. We can get more into that later, but he made it through. So thank God for that. And Wednesday was my birthday. Thursday I was probably still celebrating for my birthday. And then Friday I got food poisoning, and now Saturday here I am. So, heck of a week. For anyone wondering what I'm doing, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And right now, I'm working on this very large chainmail cube, right? This is a fairly large chainmail cube in and of itself, made from really small rings, and cubes are just these fun fidget toys that we make. Some people use anodized aluminum and add some color to them, and they're fun, right? This one, this is getting ridiculously heavy. I'm not going to be able to pick it up soon. So I used small rings to make big rings, and I'm taking the big rings and weaving them together into this enormous cube. And I'm quickly running out of room on everything. Elspeth, how you doing? So, we'll see how much we can get done. Also, nothing wants to fit anymore. I've got to double check something. These are all, I got to make sure that all the rings are oriented the same way in every ring. It's looking great, thank you. Ethan, I did finish the Finnegan's Wake inlay. I'm sore. Did the Ren Fair today? Right on. Yeah, the Finnegan's Wake inlay is finished. I want to add another ounce of rings across the rows up top. But it is as done as... Oh, well, no, that's not true. It's not as done can be. I need a spear for it to hang from. It's on a dowel rod right now. And then I need some wall hooks, some Celtic themed wall hooks. Just to make it a completed piece. Heck yeah, long time coming. That piece took me 19 years. From 2005 to 2024. And it's... There we go. Sweet. Look for a blacksmith. Oh, for the wall hooks? Yeah. I just, I've got an inlay of a orca, and it's got like whale tail wall hooks, and it really fits with the theme of the inlay. And I've got I want some Celtic themed wall hooks for the Finnegan's Wake inlay, just to make everything match, Alright. So the first thing we gotta do is remember what we're doing. But yeah, so yeah, interesting week. I had a lot of, I had a good birthday. The angles on this get real sketchy. It is my Douglas Adams birthday. I'm 42. Douglas Adams wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and when the supercomputer is asked what is the answer to life, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, the computer gives an answer of 42. And which always seemed weird until someone explained that it was like someone's Tumblr post explained that 42 was something you could use in programming to mean anything you wanted it to be, right? I don't know if that's actually the case. All right. Someone smarter than me would have to let me know if that's true or not, but sounds good to me, right? Anyway, so I did message my dad because he had a heart attack today. Like I talked to him. Here's the crazy thing. So I was on the phone with my dad for 2 hours, and he was complaining like he was burping up a lot of stuff. Then he was complaining of pain right below his sternum, right? And he said it had gotten bad earlier, and then it had gone away when he sat down and relaxed. And so I'm on the phone with him for 2 hours. He says he's feeling okay. And I tell him, it's like, there's a lot of stuff just in this area that can go wrong. I wasn't, with belching and upper abdominal pain, I didn't think heart attack, right? But I did tell him, I was like, hey, you know what? There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in that area. So go and get yourself checked out anyway. He was going to wait until the 26th. So when I talked to him the next day, on Wednesday, what you making? Sorry about your dad? Oh, thanks. Big Bunny, how you doing? I'm making a jelly cube, right? This is the small version. Okay? And I took small rings and I made them into big rings, and I'm weaving the big rings into the same pattern as this cube. I'm making a very large sculptural piece, if I can ever get it together. And if I can ever get these angles down. So I didn't know my dad had gone to the hospital that night until the next day when my grandma called me. My grandma is 92,000 years old. And still, kicking ass and taking names. She gave me a call. She was talking about some stuff. She brought up like 2 or 3 things. And the third or fourth most important thing that was going on for my grandma that day was that my dad had a heart attack, Wasn't the first thing out of her mouth. I have the voicemail saved. It's really funny. She just casually mentions, oh, and by the way, your dad had a heart attack. It's like, oh my gosh. What? So I was able to get a hold of my dad on Wednesday and then figure out everything that had happened. But he's okay. I haven't talked to him since he got out of the hospital, but I'm sure he just wants to relax a little bit, because you don't get any sleep when you're in a hospital. And he was complaining about that. So yeah, that was my week. And then me and my kid, if you've been hanging out at all, I've been talking about the fact that there are How to Train Your Dragons that I hadn't seen. I'd seen the first two, I knew that. I hadn't seen the third. And so I was like, this is how bright I am as a person. It's like, okay, I'm going to go watch all the How to Train Your Dragons, right? I know I have the first copy. What kind of copy of How to Train Your Dragon do I have? It's a DVD case with the first 3 movies in it. I didn't even know I had it. I'm 100% certain I just picked it up at a freaking store somewhere and was like, yeah, I'm going to want this in the future. So I have now seen 3 of the How to Train Your Dragons. I liked the first 2. I wasn't a big fan of the third. And I guess there's a 4th I have to go investigate about, so we'll see. When this gets bigger, this is going to become impossible to work on. This is really bad technique. Don't be like me and make decisions to build silly projects. But it's only silly. It's only a silly project until it works. Then it'll be an awesome project. But right now, there's been a lot of effort put into this, and I'm not convinced I've made the right decision in my life to pursue this thing. We'll get there. Oh, especially with my decision. Oh, I haven't shown you. Okay, so I made an executive decision to add captures to this. The way I was planning on doing it, as of right now, there could be 6 captured ball bearings in here. And if I want to really just like take this project to the next level before I hurt myself, I can put up to 32 captures in it. But that would require doubling the current ring count. More than doubling. The current ring count for this to be finished is 42,560 rings. Something like that. And if I want to like max it out, Hannah, how you doing? If I want to max it out, it would be 94,000 some odd rings. So really taking this project to the next level, probably unnecessarily, but I don't know. Big sculptural piece from chainmail. The bigger, the better. Right? I don't know. You're doing good. It's good to hear. I don't know, because I've never made one or seen anyone make one and sell it. I've seen some large chainmail pieces sell. But also, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I didn't do much Wednesday except talk with family and get everyone updated on what was going on. Letting them know that I had to call my brothers and sisters. I had to call my brother who lives in Japan, and I couldn't get a hold of him because it was like 5 in the morning there. And so I called his wife on Facebook Messenger. She was able to get him up. So everybody's thinking about going back home, but I don't know how many of us are actually going to be able to do it. So my older sister wants to ride out with me, but I don't know, like I really don't have time to go. But it's also like my dad had a heart attack, and you should visit your parents when they're not invalid or before they're invalids, you know? So, I don't know. It's like I don't have the money to go out right now, but also, what if something else happens, you know? This could have been it. So, I'll get it figured out. And if that's the case, then, you know, just have to do what I gotta do, you know. Isaiah, how you doing? Just getting back into the swing of things after an unexpected break the last week. It's like I've barely been able to work on this at all. It's pretty much in the same position it was in the last time I worked on it. You're doing good? It's good to hear. It's like I did manage to get some of the black and stainless rings closed, because one of the issues with this project taking so long is that all of the black and stainless I ordered is out of round, and I gotta fix every ring. Some people have mentioned like putting all the rings on a dowel and like hammering them back into being true, but I haven't had a chance to go get a dowel to do that. And I don't know. It's one of those things that, do I want to chase that, or do I just want to sit here and have something to complain about as I struggle bust my way through closing all of these rings. Right? That's about half full. This coffee creamer can. Makes for great ring storage. Keeps stuff really dry. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's about an extra month's worth of work, and then I haven't really gotten anything done this week, but we'll get there. Just like with the Raiders inlay that I did, just like with the Finnegan's Wake flag, these were big projects that I really struggled with. I just kept, what are you doing, kiddo? Why are you being weird? My kid's over here dancing like an octopus. But if I just keep working at it, it will eventually get finished, right? At least that's what I keep telling myself. Oh, I talked about captures. I didn't even show you guys what I was talking about. Hang on. Okay, I need you to go upstairs, pal. Okay, I love you too. So, because this isn't already heavy enough, right? Don't do that. There's these pockets in between all the rings. Okay? And they will support a 1-inch ball bearing. Right? And it's not super tight or anything. It's kind of loose. I don't expect it to slide out of place, but should be fine once everything's tightened up. Right? This is going to add weight. Wish you the best of luck. All right, Isaiah, have a good night. Thank you. It's going to help take up space and tighten everything up, and then add weight to it. Not that we need to add weight to it, because I think it's already going to weigh like 40 pounds by the time I'm done. So did I miss a ring here? What's going on? Looks like I did. So anyway, that's another harebrained thing. I don't think you'll really be able to see the captures. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So like no one's gonna know they're there. But I'll know that they're there. And they'll make the whole thing more solid, and from a perspective of not having ever done this before, I think it's a good idea. I could be wildly wrong. You're making chainmail with chainmail? Yes. How you doing? Is it Niraj 90 or Nora J 90? How are you this evening? I use small rings to make big rings, and now I'm weaving the big rings together to make a cube. And I'm, like I just said, I'm not entirely certain that this was a good idea. But so far, it's pretty cool. Keep bending these rings out of... Really? Alright, let's try to... These rings are gonna... These are... The bigger rings are 16 gauge, 3/8 inch diameter spring steel. And they're not the most fun thing to work with, I'm not gonna lie. You cannot fathom making chainmail with chainmail. The time. It's only a couple months. As of right now, because I haven't made the decision to double the ring count in this, it's not my biggest project to date. It's close. So the spring steel is, all of these rings are from the Ring Lord. TheRinglord.com. Corey, how you doing? Yeah, still going hard with this project. Haven't been able to work on it in a week, but finally able to get back to it a little bit tonight. Just had a busy week. Chaotic week. Chaotic week. So I'm just glad to be back working on this project right now. It bothers me when I have stuff sitting down here and I can't work on it, but also I do have a life that I have to maintain. Not much of one. Just me and the family. I don't do anything. It's like I don't have friends or anything, but you know, I do have a life that we did spend the last 2 weeks babysitting one of our family friend's dogs. Her name's Poppy, and she's like this Doberman German Shepherd Dachshund mix kind of looking creature. She's super sweet looking, and she's just a very well-tempered dog. I love having her over. I much prefer her to the two other four-legged things that live in my house. Alright. Come on. Goodness. Alright, there we go. Okay. Kind of give these some wiggle room here. Try to line them up. Make sure they stay in the right place, and make sure no rings are being bent the wrong way. And we'll just keep going. So Monday I'm going to go out. It's going to be like just a yard work day, I guess. And I will evaluate the fence post that broke and see, is it going to be as bad as the last fence post? Which I'm assuming yes, it is. And if you don't know the story of the last fence post, my fence posts are buried underground with 6 inches of dirt and then 36 inches of concrete around a, 10-foot post? 342 plus 6. 9.5-foot post. So, they're crazy to dig out. I'm hoping the last post did not have enough material on it to like pluck it out of the ground. I'm hoping this one does. We'll see. All right. Those pliers are too small. Literally. That's one thing to note when you're making chainmail. It's really important to have the proper ring size. I'm sorry. The proper plier size for the rings you are weaving. It's going to make your life so much easier if you do that, and it'll be less difficult on your wrists. And don't be like me, making projects like this where I have to go at this from these crazy angles. It's not good for you. Yeah, I got... So here, I had the kid's birthday party, and then the start of school, right? And then about another month, maybe 2 months of time that I can spend doing honeydews. Got a list of honeydews that I got to do around the house. Material too, spring seal. Yeah, don't use spring seal if you don't have to. I didn't have to for this project, but the initial rings that I had were old Ringlord rings, and so the diameter was a little bit larger than what they currently have in stock, and the spring steel rings matched the diameter of the old rings I had, which was just pure luck that they did. Corey, how you doing? You cannot say no to the challenge. Because if they hadn't matched, I wouldn't have been able to do this project at all, which probably would have been for the better. But actually, in my defense, I was trying to make a dragon scale pine cone. This was not my original project with these rings, so yeah. Trying to find a source of aircraft grade aluminum, 14 gauge wire, lightweight and strong, easier. Yeah. It's like I like working with aluminum. I like anodized aluminum for like static pieces. Okay, Corey, how you doing? Sorry. So this is a chainmail jelly cube, right? The weave used to make it is called Japanese 4-in-1, which just means that every ring except the outside rings have 4 other rings going through them, right? What I'm doing here is I'm using small rings to make big rings, like so, and then weaving the big rings together into a Japanese 4-in-1 pattern to make a large cube. And then I'll be adding I have some ball bearings. I'll be adding some stainless steel ball bearing captures and to add weight and stability. You had nodding to do today? Actually, my day was pretty slow. First we were waiting for the dog. We were sitting, waiting for her parents to show up. And then we all went out to lunch, and then we came home, and I took a nap, and then I finally was able to get down here and get some work done after a week of not doing anything down here, basically. Holy shit, that would be a great way to make you go insane. Yeah, I suppose it might for some people. Like, some people like to make chainmail armor. Some people like to make chainmail jewelry. And I do too. But I'm going for several chainmail sculptures to have a gallery exhibit with. So this is just project number 1. This will probably be my largest one. I'm hoping the rest don't cost as much to make and don't involve so many rings. We'll see. We will see. Hats off to you for sharing the patience. Thank you. I know they're just circles. My brain is telling me you must untie the knot. Yeah. No, I get it. There are several chain weaves that you can look at that are just like, how does that even come together, you know? Magenta, how you doing? For sure with chainmail, patience is a must. I find that it only takes patience if you'd rather be doing something else, right? Like, that's when I struggle. When I'm grinding through, say, this project, by the time this is done, this will have 44,000 rings in it. I've got another 130 some odd dollars to spend on supplies, and it's going to go about an inch larger on each side, right? Or on 3 sides, basically. So, grinding through this is not... It gets me, right? It's like weaving large sheets of chainmail for a shirt. It definitely gets to me. But for the most part, like... It's the only thing in life that I'm good at. Really, you know? And I like to do it because... it's fun. been a mentally exhausting week. How am I? I too have had a mentally exhausting week. I am okay. My dad survived a heart attack, and I got food poisoning yesterday, but other than that, I'm okay. Among a myriad of other things that went on this week, but so what do you use the cubes for? Okay, so the one I'm working on currently, this large one, is hopefully will go on exhibition in a gallery somewhere, and it will sell for a lot of money, right? This is essentially a fidget toy, right? It's just something cool to make. A lot of people add color to them. Because of this size, this one's like a personal challenge for me. I have a rubber band ball that's falling apart, and I needed something to replace it with. So I decided for a large jelly cube made out of really small rings. Because I don't have more important things to do, I guess. I really don't. This is like my life's work. This is the important thing I need to be doing. So... don't do that. You need something to go find a fight a dragon. Astrid, how you doing? Yeah, Magenta, what's going on with your week? What happened? It might help if I close this inner chain before I work on the outer chain. Might have more success that way. All right, here. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name, Z. Okay? But how about Chainmail Monkey Fist? You can throw it at the dragon. It'll be like that that cover of the fantasy book. I don't know what the fantasy book is, but it's just it's a giant kraken coming up out of the ocean, and it's two guys, one with a bow and arrow, and the other just standing there with a sword. And the caption from the guy just standing there with the arrow, or the caption from the guy just holding the sword is, "Hit him with your arrow, Steve!" And it's this tiny little figure with a bow and arrow and a giant kraken. And it's like, finally got your Jeep back on the road. You need to drive 200 miles to retest emissions. It said not ready because the battery was unplugged. You didn't even know that was saying. Got a template for the meantime. Exciting to drive. You're going to have 2 months. Right on. Congratulations, Jeep and Jamber. How you doing, buddy? I just went through something similar like that. Not me personally, but the wife's got her dad's Corvette that she got when he passed away. And had a whole issue of emissions after her battery died. Doing good, just vegging after the show today. Did you have a vending show? Did you go and like sell stuff and make money? Or is it something completely different? All right. All right. It's my favorite when you can't grip these rings at all, because there's no room. All right. Feeling a bit sick right now, but you think you might have been something that you ate tomorrow, provided you're feeling better. You'll be working on an ad for your Jeep. Right on. Yeah, I had food poisoning yesterday, so I know how you feel. I am working on it, Mitch. You did. It was only 4 hours. You did sell 4 things. Right on. Congratulations. I am putting it together. Except I just made a mistake. And I just did this the other day. See if I can adjust this. Yeah. All right. I need to do better at paying attention to the direction of these rings when I put the big rings in, because I'm failing at it right now. And I might have to take this all back apart if I can't get everything to lay back down. Anyway, time to watch House with the Missus. All right, Magenta, have a good one. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Is that a new pan scrubber? Yeah. They make like chainmail pan scrubbers, so it's not my favorite thing when someone comes into the comment section of like something I made and be like, oh, you should use that to clean your food off of your cast iron pan. I'm like, I didn't spend hours on this, you know, and I know you're kidding, but if anybody, I'm not talking to myself. I've got X, Twitch, Facebook over here, TikTok here. If you're wondering, like, why am I talking to myself? I'm not. I'm just, you know. This is one of my big cubes. How you doing, Ferris Wheel? I think I'm just going to take that back apart. I don't want to sit here and fight it. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Okay? You end up having to redo work. And if Mitch hadn't said anything that made me double check the way the rings are going, I could have missed it entirely, and that would have been bad. Let's see if I can hang on. That's cool. How much longer do you think to finish? Probably 3 more months. If I had to hazard a guess, at the rate things are going, like when I do stupid stuff like this, and it makes me have to fight. There we go. But yeah, probably another 3 months, and I'll tell you why. I've got to straighten out all these black and stainless rings, and there's 27,000 of them right now. As long as I don't have to take it apart again. How many times did I take it apart already? Twice? I think twice. Okay. So all the black and stainless rings in this are out of round. I have to fix that before I can like really build stuff. That's taking a really long time, right? I thought it would take like 5 weeks, a month to 5 weeks, and I'm now thinking it's going to be longer than that. So it's just like how about you make your How about I make my own rings? Yeah, I'm working on it. I've got to, like, build something and sell it for money first. Probably before I can afford anything else. That build would take you 5 years? Yeah. I just finished a project that took me about 19 years, off and on, right? I probably have over 400 hours into it, going back and forth on the inlay that I was working on. But yeah, it probably took me, I started in about 2005, 2006, and I just finished it a little bit ago. And if you go back in my video, it's the Finnegan's Wake flag. So, like, sometimes these projects do get, you know, overwhelming. But little bit at a time, it'll be done one day. Oh, this angle's terrible. You've got a guy who keeps trying to justify to himself that he needs you to make him a titanium or tungsten. He's undecided. 6-in-1 flog for self-defense. And I was like, dude, just let me know when you figure it out. That's funny. Yeah. No, I want to take the... So if you make a small, long, rectangular shape out of this weave using, like, stainless steel, you definitely could have, like, something to defend yourself with, for sure. Bree, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Hope you're staying cool. 100 plus there today. Ooh, that was like week and a half ago, 2 weeks, we were getting all the heat. It's not as bad. In fact, we've had some very nice days. I can't complain right now. I want to say last week it was really hot. And it's not the temperature here because it doesn't usually get much above 90. We live right off Lake Michigan, and so all that humidity from the lake just makes it feel like you're walking around in a mouth. Skidding home from work in 117 degrees was pretty awesome. Not really, yeah. But I can't complain. I can't complain about the weather this week for my birthday and for the rest of the week. It's been pretty good. All right, I cannot see this angle at all. All right, don't try this at home. This makes me question how I'm going to scale this up if I can't even get pliers in here to close these rings right now. How am I going to do it when this thing is 3-4 times its size? You know what I mean? If I just... All right. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Weaving upside down, backwards, and blind. I cannot see what I am doing. There we go. One problem down. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Alright. There's got to be a better way. It's an amazing sculpture. Thank you. Appreciate you. It's coming along. Oh, did I miss a ring here? I see what I missed. How many hours do I have working on this? I want to say I did the math on it the other day. Well, let's just do rough numbers, right? Where's my phone? I don't have a phone. Do I have a calculator? I do. Let's see here. As of right now, I have over, let's see here, that's 80 done. For all of this and all of this, right? It's probably around 120. And then adjusting all of these rings is probably another. That's probably a week's worth, right? So I probably have 120, 160 hours so far. I will have like well over 400 hours into it by the time I'm done. I think was the math I worked out. How did I start working with chainmail? If this ring would go in its spot, I'd tell you. Okay, so when I was, alright, something's wrong. When I was about 14, one of my cool uncles, I have two very cool uncles, one taught me how to play guitar, and the other taught me what chainmail was, as well as a number of other things. I've screwed something up here. I'm not 100% certain what it is. Oh, it's that. The uncle that showed me how to make, or showed me that you could make chainmail at home. Also did like haunted houses and costuming and all kinds of fun stuff. He's a cool dude. He now is retired and works at one of those bricks and minifig stores. So thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. At some point, we'll put this ring in the right place, and something's like in the way, or I don't know why that doesn't want to go into place. I'm not sure how to pronounce that username there, P. So, my uncle shows me that you can make chainmail at home. I go home. I try to look up resources on the computer. There's not a lot out there back in 1996. Like, home computers were not... Oh, you know why that ring's not working? No way. You gotta be kidding me. It's not the right size. How did I not notice that? So now I need to get it out of here. Or maybe it is the right size and I'm just special. That's entirely possible too. Man, these rings were wanting to come apart all over the place. No, that's the right size. What is the problem here? Where is it? I don't know. It looks like the right size to me. I'm just going to set it aside for now. Something's going on where it doesn't want to fit. I don't know why. All right, let's get this put into place and then we'll... Alright, so where was I? Yeah, okay, 14 years old, cool uncle shows me. Oh, got the puzzle piece of death. Unable to verify, try again. So, yeah, cool uncle shows me you can make chainmail at home. I go home, I learn how to make basic European 4-in-1. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm not the hugest sci-fi fantasy nerd out there, but you know, I was like in the middle of reading Redwall and stuff like that in 6th grade, and then I started learning various weaves. There wasn't like tutorials back then, but a lot of the basic weaves are fairly simple to pick up. And there was enough resource material to get by, right? Now there's a ton of resource material. All right. Hey, dude, stop. Hey, Mac, how you doing? Thanks, buddy. I'm not... Yo, it's... Not going to try and pronounce your name. But thank you. Just say War Dog. Okay. You have a nice chainmail keychain. You want to get a longer one eventually? Right on. Well, fortunately for you, you're in the right place. I know people that can help you out with that, should you be so inclined. In my link tree is a link to the Mailworks app. It's on a web app right now, and there's a Google link you can download it from too. The Apple link is not fixed yet. I've got to do some work actually for both Google and Apple. And in there is a list of suppliers that make chainmail, of artists. There's a list of artists that make chainmail. And so they already have stuff made and they do custom work, and if you're looking for a longer keychain, I'm 100% certain they could hook you up. And if if now's not the time, or if that's not something that you're concerned about at the moment, you know. Cool. Yeah, that's the Mailworks app is my app for my store and my community and all that fun stuff. So, your 3D printed helmet you were starting pre-fire is nearing completion. Trying to find a local place to vacuum form the visor for you. Right on. That's cool. Glad you were able to get back to work on that. Okay, and then also, if none of those ideas suit you, there are a ton of resources to learn how to make chainmail in the Mailworks app, right? How to get started, where to get started, where to find suppliers, all kinds of fun stuff. Alright, that's all for that side. Green-eyed chainmail, how you doing? So the armrests are like these as seen on TV kind of cheap plastic ones. They work okay, right? But I had to put a leather pad in there to replace the pad they had, and then this, right, the stamped chainmail pad that is kind of crappy leather work, but it's still kind of cool. I did that myself, so they're kind of nice to have. They help make sure that my elbows don't get rubbed dry, but As Seen on TV armrests. I think I ordered them out off of Amazon. I didn't even know they were As Seen on TV, right? And then I get them, and the box says, the box had the whole As Seen on TV logo on it. So, they work. I mean, there's a multitude of different armrests that you can get out there. These aren't the best, but I'm not going to try and replace them anytime soon. They work well enough. All right. Now, what time is it? 9:36. Jeez Louise. All right. Thanks, you're doing okay? You're busy on an order yourself? Right on. Ah! Okay, so working with spring steel. If you don't have a good grip on it, be very careful, because your pliers will slip off. Like mine just did. And depending on the style of plier, you can actually get really hurt, so be careful. All right, so you're working on an order. What are you making? If you don't mind sharing with the class. Okay, going with a green visor, and if you can do a process called hydrochroming in a light enough coat, it will be green chrome you can see through. Jeep and Jammer, that sounds cool. You're making a necklace and a keychain? Right on. Was it War Dog? Is that what he said his unpronounceable name was? He whose name I could not pronounce. Yeah, War Dog. Commenting right above you there was asking about keychains. Alright, and so forth. He sent the pliers through his palms. Mailwork 737. Yeah, don't do that. Don't stab yourself in the palms or the wrists. It's actually like I get myself right here on the knuckles all the time. Right, I'll be squeezing it and just go brah right across. Or I'll jab myself right there, and it hurts, I'm not going to lie. It's not fun. Alright, let me... That's better. Okay, I have to make sure that all the rings, right, are oriented the same direction. Because I keep screwing that up and it keeps costing me time. Alright, what do I want to do here? Is this an art piece? Yeah. So this is going to be a large chainmail sculpture with several, this is glass, but several captures in it. Not that you'll be able to see them, but it will make the piece more solid and hefty. Help prevent it from moving around too much. And then once I'm done with that, I'll make a few more, and we'll see if I can get like a gallery exhibition or something somewhere someday. Very cool. Thank you. It's coming along. It's coming along. Slowly but surely. It's one of those things that it's just going to take me time. It's like I already have a month's worth of work into this, and it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 more months. So, we'll see. And then if I expand on it, you know, the whole thing. Okay. Perfect. Do you have recommendations for pliers? You're shopping around for new ones. Page to Page, how you doing? Yeah, my these are Xeron 483s. But if you go in my link tree and open up the Mailworks web app or download the app off of Google, there's a list of tool suggestions in there. I love Xerons. They are highly recommended. I also have a pair of Wubbers. I do like those as well. And then if you're wanting to just get away from like the 50-year-old pair of pliers that your grandpa gave you when you first started doing this, what do we got? We got, trying to think of, we got Tronex pliers. People like those a lot. I don't know what sizes they use for them though, off the top of my head. And then, I'm trying to think. All right. Wow, that is like, all right. Not wanting to be cooperative. Screw it. So, Xerons, Tronex, Wubbers, and there's one I can never think of. And now my brain is stuck. That would cause a catastrophic failure. Alright, thanks for the recommendations. You'll check them out? Yeah, for sure. Hope that helps. There we go. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So one of the things I didn't notice when I was first making these larger sandworm chains is that only on some of them would the rings lay flat on 2 sides, right? On others, the rings would not lay flat. And that was confusing to me. But I didn't realize that I had made a mistake when weaving them, and I got to take a whole bunch of them apart, which was totally fun. I would add cousin pliers. I have not heard of that brand, but there's a recommendation for you from another chainmail artist. So I got to take a bunch of these apart and then fix them, and it was oh so much fun, right? So I'm sure you can imagine. Well, now when you weave these into place, they want to bunch up and not lay flat on those two sides. And it's annoying because you got to like wiggle everything around and get it put back into place. There we go. Where am I working here? Now I'm getting a ring here that's like smashed out of place. Come on. There we go. Oh, and you got to keep track of everything because if anything gets like hung up real bad, you know, you don't want it tearing itself apart. Here's a good way to avoid doing that. Don't do dumb projects like this. It looks cool. This is a nightmare. It'll be if it's successful, it'll be cool. Until then, I remain unconvinced that I'm doing anything meaningful right now. We'll see. We will see. You call this piece Ringception, but the locals call it Ring Glob Glob. Yeah, it's about right. It's definitely a, as they say, a ring eater. For sure. But, you know, I don't know. Like I said, like the total ring count right now is going to be 42,560 rings. And then if I decide to like really go and just make this an even nuttier project, the ring count will be like 94,000 some odd rings. So more than doubling it. And I'm not sure if I want to do that, to be honest, just because how much it would add to this project, but I've already I have extra supplies here to start that process with, so I don't know. I'm probably already going to do it, and it's just going to take me a really long time. There's got to be like, I wonder, are these better? Not really. There we go. Now for the upside down backwards weaving on this. So let's start up here. That is a beautiful piece. Gotta go. You have a good evening. Thanks, Greenhide Chainmail. I appreciate it. It's coming along. Hopefully it will be really cool by the time it's done. You have a wonderful evening. Thanks for stopping by. You just got this idea, but you don't know how to execute it. At least not yet, but here it is. Chainmail, stainless steel draw strings for a hoodie. The problem is going to launder that hoodie, right? You could definitely make a JPL chain as a drawstring for a hoodie. That'd be cool. But you'll be removing that chain every time you go to wash your hoodie. So how much, extra work you want to be doing? It's up to you. Don't let me tell you what to do. You live your life. But also, don't destroy your washer machine. Your washer machine. Sound like my grandma. All right. So I think I have enough blackened stainless to get all the Byzantine chains done on this second layer. I just did that. I did, okay. So once I have all these big rings in place, then I'll start on putting 4 strands of Byzantine on each one. Well, that ring is just straight up stuck. Come on, get out of there. So, might get, how many we got more? 2 more. 2 more big rings to put in on this second layer here. And JPL 3 was your first idea? Yeah, it would probably work well as a hoodie string. I wanted to add like little pieces of chainmail to the end of some of my hoodie strings because they were not, the string was like going up into the hood, but then I realized that if I washed it, it's going to chew up my dryer and my washer, and I really don't want that, so. At least I assume, right? I assume that metal is bad on the inside of washers and dryers. I know that some pants have rivets in them where they have that, but, I don't want to add to the problem. I mean, it doesn't sound that bad if you tie a string or shoelace or something similar and pull it through as you pull out the mail. Then you can wash it and use that same string to pull it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you can do it that way. I mean, there's also like little tools that they make for all of that, you know. What time is it? Oh, 9:55. It do be quitting time. I'm not going to have time to finish this one. Well, we got a good start on it. Maybe we'll just finish this one and then call it a night. I have been gone all week, and I know. It's, okay, so I've been gone most of the week because my dad had a heart attack. You know, the former president got pew-pewed at. I was sick. I had an electrical storm. It was my birthday. Just an exhausting smorgasbord of events this week, right? So, however, and this may just me being delusional, right? But I don't ever want to feel like I'm neglecting people who like to come and hang out and watch. We had a couple people pop in tonight that have been, hanging out multiple nights, multiple streams. And whenever I can't stream or I have something come up, I feel bad. Not that I have, wild, crazy fans that are, gonna storm me at an event or anything. Not that I'm not that popular. But also, I do feel like I have a responsibility to show up and work on these projects and be here to hang out with people who expect me to be here, So... maybe it is part of my... I'd like to think that it's not an overinflated ego where, I don't want people... Nobody feels neglected by me not being here, right? But I can't help but feel that I'm neglecting people when I'm not here. Does that make sense? So I hate not being able to stream, but... happy belated birthday. Thank you. You're the wild fan? I know you've hung out a lot for sure. There's a few others too. And I know, it's probably just all in my head, right? But I can't help but feel that I am somehow doing a disservice to my community and the people who come hang out. JSC, I am making... oh, wow. I am making a large sculptural chainmail cube. So, I used big rings to make little rings. Or other way around. I used little rings to make big rings. And then I weave the big rings in between each other. And I'm making a cube, essentially. You're welcome. Trying to make a cube anyway. We'll see how it goes. If I don't... Did you see your washing idea above? Okay, where are we at? Yeah, where you, put a chain through and then tie a string on one end and pull the string through, throw it in the wash, pull it back out, tie the chain back to the string, and then pull that through. That idea. I think that's a legit idea. If you want to do all the work, then you should make a chainmail chain for your hoodie, for sure. Alright. Let's put it this way. You'd get a tattoo of your logo. I'm going to get a tattoo of my logo too. So don't get a tattoo of my logo before you get before I get a tattoo of it. So I don't have any tattoos. There's a tattoo shop right around the corner from me. But also, like, I have other priorities. My kid's birthday's coming up. Got to get school started, all that fun stuff. Here in the next couple weeks, and I got a pretty big honey-do list that I got to keep going on this summer, so. Is what a challenge to not get my logo tattooed on you before I do. You got to give me a chance to get it tattooed on me. Tell you what, if I don't have it tattooed on me by this time next year, then, you know, go ahead. One of these days I'll get bored and I'll just put it on my credit card or something. You have 4 tattoos? I have several in mind. It's implementing them that... because they're large and costly, and finding the right person to do them. So I got other priorities than tattoos right now, but all right, folks. You'll write it on the calendar? Right on. Okay, we almost have this second layer done. We got a lot of black and stainless to add to it still, right? But it's almost, we got 2 more big rings, and then we'll add all the black and stainless to it. This is coming together. It's turning into something. And it's going to be like, right now it's going to be 9 by 9 by 9. Right? 9 inches on each side. At like 9.5. Yeah, 9. Right? If Fame hasn't gone to Mailworks Head, probably won't get a tattoo of his logo in the calendar. Alright. So yeah, a ton more big rings to add, right? A ton more black and stainless rings to straighten out. Hours and hours worth of work, but we wouldn't do it if it wasn't worth it, right? And I think this is turning into something that is going to be pretty cool, so... In your more professional opinion, what size rings do you think you should do for the drawstring? 16 gauge 3/16. I think it's 16 gauge American wire gauge 3/16 inch inner diameter for JPL. Makes a decent JPL. Excuse me. And that's a nice chunky JPL that will... That is what I would do, right? So, alright, for anyone watching, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, and I make chainmail stuff, right? Like monkey fists and cubes and then bigger cubes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you're interested, you can go and 16G AWG 3/16 inch. Yeah, that would be my guess, I think. If I had to pick a ring size to do that with. So, if you're interested in chainmail themed apparel or accessories, check out my website, mailworks.com, my username.com, and use discount code LIVESTREAM, all one word, lowercase, LIVESTREAM, and you'll get 20% off anything you decide to order today. If you're interested in learning how to make chainmail, or already make chainmail and just, want to check out some other resources on it, in the link tree over on my TikTok is the Mailworks app. There's a progressive web app. I screwed up something in here and I'm not sure what. Maybe not. It feels tight. I'll double check it. Okay, so progressive web app of the Mailworks app, so you don't have to download anything, and that's got a whole bunch of resources for beginners and veterans. And there's a Discord in there you can join if you want to get started and have questions. If you like what you see and you want to help support this, excuse me. Oh, there's a place on a coffee thing you can donate $1 or something. That goes to help fund projects like this. All of it's greatly appreciated. And then if you want to help, but you don't have any money, or you can't spend anything right now, I completely understand, and I would never ask somebody to put themselves in a financial situation where they're strapped for cash, but liking, following, and sharing on all my social medias. It's Mailworks at all of them. They're all in the link tree on my TikTok and Twitch, YouTube, X, Facebook, all of those. You can follow me there. To follow is free. And other than that, this week was rough, right? We had a national event happen last Saturday, so I thought I'd give some time to cool off. Then a big electrical storm rolled through. There was no way I was going to be able to stream on Monday night. Dad has a heart attack on Tuesday night. Had my birthday on Wednesday. Get food poisoning on Friday. This was a very emotional roller coaster of a week. Normally, I'm here 8:30 to 10 most nights of the week. So, pending natural disasters and family emergencies, I should be here working on this enormous project. So, thanks everyone for hanging out. You guys make it all worth it. I do appreciate you. And I'm going to get out of here. All right. You all, Jeep and Jamboree, you have a good one. Everybody else, you all have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.